You are probably destroying your body's most critical filtration system before you even step out of bed. And the craziest part is, you actually think you are being healthy. Every single morning, you pour that dark roasted commercial coffee or that artificially flavored neon energy drink down your throat. You are forcing two delicate bean-shaped organs in your lower back to fight for their absolute lives. Your kidneys are essentially the microscopic oil filters of your entire biological engine. They meticulously scrub your blood, they perfectly balance your electrolytes, and they literally keep you from drowning in your own acidic cellular waste. But here is the terrifying truth most doctors will never mention to you until it is way too late. Silent organ stress does not scream, it whispers. It whispers through puffy under eyes in the morning, mysteriously swollen ankles, random spikes in blood pressure, and this heavy, dark brain fog that you just naturally blame on not getting enough sleep. But there is one specific, ancient root brew I am going to reveal at the very end of this advanced breakdown that literally rewires how your cells purge waste at a genetic level, and if you miss it, the rest of these daily habits will not even matter. So you need to pay very close attention right now. And this is exactly where most people fail miserably on their health journeys. They wait for a painful, agonizing wake-up call, like passing a kidney stone or staring at a terrifying blood test result, instead of doing the microscopic, easy maintenance that takes literally 5 minutes a morning. Let us fix that catastrophic error right now with the first biological hack you absolutely need to deploy immediately. Number 1 is corn silk tea. Most people effortlessly throw away the silky golden threads at the top of an ear of corn, completely blind to the fact that they are throwing away a pharmaceutical-grade kidney protector. Indigenous tribes relied heavily on this exact golden thread for centuries to heal severe urinary agony and flush out the system. Here's the deep biological mechanism at play that makes it so powerful. Corn silk is densely packed with unique plant sterols and a specific, highly bioavailable type of natural potassium that forces your kidneys to open up the floodgates without violently stripping your body of its vital essential minerals. But here is where the trap snaps shut for most health enthusiasts. They use harsh, chemical, over-the-counter diuretics that blast all the water out of their system unnaturally, leaving their kidneys severely dehydrated, shrinking, and begging for mercy. Corn silk operates entirely differently. It actively coats the delicate, raw lining of your urinary tract with a specialized plant mucilage, which is basically a soothing biological gel that rapidly puts out the fire of chronic internal inflammation. To prepare this properly, you are not just throwing it in boiling water. You need to take 1 heaping tablespoon of dried organic corn silk, drop it into a heavy ceramic cup, and pour pure water that is just off the rolling boil. Let it sit in complete darkness for exactly 12 minutes. Why exactly 12 minutes? Because the extremely delicate anti-inflammatory flavonoids need enough time to unbind from the tough plant matrix without being instantly destroyed by a violent rolling boil. Drink this golden elixir first thing in the morning when your stomach is a complete ghost town. This strategic timing ensures the active compounds hit your bloodstream instantly, sharply signaling your kidneys to forcefully flush out the dangerous uric acid that built up secretly while you were dreaming. Lekin asli masla ye nahi hai. The real problem is that if you just drink corn silk and ignore the massive underlying structural damage caused by years of bad diet, you are only doing half the job. And that harsh reality brings us directly to number 2, burdock root tea. Burdock is the undisputed heavyweight champion of deep, relentless cellular cleansing. I want you to imagine your kidneys as a pristine, ultra-fine mesh sieve. Over years and decades, invisible heavy metals, microscopic plastics, completely dead cells, and thick metabolic sludge gunk up that delicate mesh. Burdock root acts exactly like a microscopic, high-powered pressure washer for that sieve. It contains massive levels of natural inulin and highly active polyacetylenes, which have been scientifically observed in real time to ruthlessly hunt down reactive oxygen species and neutralize them before they can permanently scar your fragile kidney tissue. But wait, this gets even crazier. We currently live in a modern world heavily saturated with completely invisible poisons, from the toxic non-stick chemical pans we cook our eggs in to the thermal chemical receipts we casually touch at the grocery store. These insidious endocrine disruptors eventually filter straight through your kidneys, leaving microscopic trails of damage and scarring. Burdock root forcefully triggers a gentle, sustained diuresis that actively binds to these stubborn, fat-soluble toxins and permanently pulls them out of your body through your urine. To brew this incredibly potent elixir, you absolutely need roasted, high-quality dried burdock root. Take 2 full teaspoons, and you must simmer it actively in a covered pot of pure water for 15 solid minutes. This is a very tough, dense, woody root, so you have to physically torture it just a little bit with sustained heat to extract the deep medicine inside. The resulting flavor is remarkably deep, intensely earthy, and surprisingly sweet, almost reminiscent of a dark, rich caramel. Drink this specific brew mid-morning, right around 10 o'clock. This precise timing is extremely critical because it perfectly intercepts the massive wave of metabolic waste generated immediately after your heavy breakfast digestion cycle finishes. But here is the brutal truth nobody wants to hear. Simply washing the biological sieve is completely useless if there are literal physical rocks blocking the main plumbing lines. And this terrifying reality brings us directly to the third non-negotiable protocol, Chanca Piedra tea. The name of this plant literally translates directly to stonebreaker in ancient Spanish, and I promise you, it earns every single letter of that legendary title. If you have ever felt that blinding, sharp, agonizing stabbing pain in your lower back, you already know that kidney stones are essentially jagged biological glass shards tearing through your insides. Chanca Piedra contains highly specialized natural alkaloids that physically stop dangerous calcium and sharp oxalate crystals from sticking together in the first place. It actually aggressively interferes with the entire crystallization process at a deep molecular level. And this is exactly where 99% of people get it completely wrong. Most people lazily assume kidney stones are just an unavoidable genetic curse or a direct result of just eating way too much spinach or drinking too much milk. The dark reality is that chronic, invisible, subclinical dehydration radically alters the fundamental pH of your urine, rapidly turning it into the absolute perfect acidic breeding ground for massive stone formation. Chanca Piedra powerfully relaxes the tight, smooth muscles of your entire urinary tract, immediately making the whole physiological pathway much wider, softer, and far more elastic. To fully harness this incredible power, carefully steep 1 solid teaspoon of the dried, crushed leaves and stems in piping hot water for exactly 10 minutes. You want to deliberately drink this highly specific tea on a completely empty stomach right before you do any intense physical exercise or morning movement. The massive increase in fresh blood flow from your workout, powerfully combined with the strong alkalizing effect of the Chanca Piedra, actively creates an internal environment where stones absolutely cannot even begin to form, let alone grow. But actively tearing down stones and forcefully flushing out deep toxins creates a temporary, dangerous vulnerability in your organs. Your raw kidney tissues rapidly need to be physically rebuilt and shielded from further assault. And this is the exact moment you must intelligently introduce number 4, marshmallow root tea. Please do not ever confuse this powerful ancient medicine with the highly processed white fluffy sugar candy you blindly roast over a summer campfire. The actual wild marshmallow plant is a literal biological miracle for deep internal tissue repair and soothing. Your kidneys feature over 1 million tiny, incredibly complex filtering units, perfectly called nephrons, and when they inevitably get inflamed from toxic modern food, they become incredibly rigid, swollen, and highly inefficient. Marshmallow root is the ultimate unmatched biological hydrator. It rapidly produces a remarkably thick, slippery, healing substance when properly combined with water that smoothly coats your entire burning urinary and digestive tract. But here is the massive lie that the billion-dollar supplement companies actively hide from you to keep you buying their garbage. You absolutely cannot fix a heavily damaged, chronically inflamed kidney by aggressively hammering it over and over with more harsh, punishing chemical detoxes. You have to gently, methodically soothe it first. Marshmallow root dramatically drops the boiling internal temperature of your overworked renal system, drastically reducing the dangerous oxidative stress load on the cells. To make this specific tea correctly, you actually do not use any heat at all, which blows people's minds. You must perform a slow cold infusion. Take a quarter cup of premium dried marshmallow root, carefully put it in a large glass mason jar, fill it entirely with room temperature, ultra-filtered water, and leave it sitting in your dark fridge overnight. The slow cold extraction gently pulls out the pure, unadulterated healing mucilage without accidentally releasing the heavy starches that violent hot water would ruinously extract. When you finally wake up, carefully strain it through a fine metal mesh. It will intentionally feel slightly thick, heavy, and highly viscous. Drink this cold liquid velvet right around 2 in the afternoon when your body temperature naturally peaks. It rapidly provides a massive, deeply soothing, cooling effect to your utterly exhausted organs and instantly creates an impenetrable protective shield directly around your fragile nephrons. Lichen protection is really only a defensive, passive move. If you truly want to go on the aggressive, relentless offensive, you need active, powerful blood purification. Enter the powerhouse that is number 5, red clover tea. Wild red clover blossoms are incredibly packed with rare isoflavones and powerful natural coumarins that act exactly like a gentle, systematic, natural blood thinner. By heavily optimizing the actual physical viscosity and thickness of your blood, your poor kidneys do not have to violently pump nearly as hard to filter out the daily garbage. I want you to imagine desperately trying to forcefully suck a thick, frozen, chunky milkshake through a tiny, crushed plastic straw versus effortlessly sipping a glass of pure, flowing spring water. Red clover miraculously turns your thick, sludgy, toxin-filled, dehydrated blood back into a pristine, rapidly flowing, oxygenated river. But this is exactly where the hidden trap brutally snaps shut for arrogant people who think they know absolutely everything about modern health. They focus entirely, obsessively on the physical organs themselves and completely, foolishly ignore the massive cardiovascular delivery system that actually feeds and sustains those delicate organs. If your blood is thick, heavily oxidized, and completely full of floating metabolic debris, your kidneys will constantly be suffocating and drowning, no matter how many organ supplements you blindly swallow. Red clover tea forcibly opens up the microscopic crushed capillaries deep inside the renal cortex, allowing massive tidal waves of fresh oxygen and vital nutrients to violently flood the severely damaged, dying zones. To prepare this beautiful, vibrant floral infusion, generously take 3 heaping tablespoons of the dried, bright purple blossoms and heavily steep them in steaming hot water for a full 15 minutes. The resulting aroma is wonderfully sweet, profoundly calming, and deeply meadow-like. You must drink this early in the calm evening. It chemically signals to your frantic, overworked nervous system that the aggressive, deep cleaning process is finally winding down, rapidly shifting your entire body into a deep parasympathetic rest, repair, and digest state. And finally, we boldly arrive at the absolute missing link. The legendary mystery root I fiercely promised you at the very beginning of this intense masterclass. The one single rare compound that makes every other protocol on this list literally 10 times more biologically effective. Number 6, astragalus root tea. This is the undisputed holy grail of ancient, elite kidney repair. While absolutely every other tea on this extensive list focuses intensely on flushing, soothing, hydrating, or unblocking, astragalus rigidly focuses entirely on deep genetic cellular regeneration. It literally physically protects the exhausted kidneys from deadly protein spillage. When your kidneys are heavily damaged and failing, they terrifyingly start leaking vital, life-sustaining proteins directly into your urine, which is a massive, screaming red flag for total renal failure and early death. Astragalus profoundly contains completely unique, powerful saponins and complex polysaccharides that rapidly and violently tighten up the microscopic, leaking gap junctions inside your kidneys, stopping the deadly protein leak completely dead in its tracks. But the real, earth-shattering secret is something almost absolutely no Western medical textbook will ever dare tell you because it threatens their entire business model. Astragalus actually aggressively increases the natural production of telomerase inside your body, which is the literal enzyme completely responsible for protecting your fragile DNA from rapid aging and cellular death. By religiously drinking astragalus, you are not just lightly cleaning your kidneys, you are literally forcing the actual cells to become biologically, measurably younger and dramatically stronger. To properly brew this absolute master root, you absolutely need to violently simmer 4 or 5 thick, dense slices of premium dried astragalus root in a covered pot of pure water for a strict minimum of 20 solid minutes. It desperately needs to be a very vigorous, rolling simmer to physically break down the incredibly dense, tough cellular walls of the ancient root. The resulting thick liquid will slowly turn a beautiful, pale golden color and aggressively taste slightly sweet, highly earthy, and profoundly, deeply grounding. Drink this massive biological weapon as your very last intentional fluid intake of the entire day, exactly about 1 hour before you go to bed. While you sleep, your entire body forcefully goes into a deep paralytic repair mode, and the astragalus acts exactly like an elite, aggressive construction manager, forcefully directing absolutely all of your biological resources to rapidly rebuild your destroyed kidney tissue completely from the ground up. This is absolutely not just a random list of cute morning drinks. This is a highly systematic, intensely aggressive, complete biological overhaul of your entire failing internal filtration system. If you foolishly ignore this, you are carelessly letting the silent, invisible killer of creeping kidney fatigue slowly and permanently drain your literal life force away, while you arrogantly think you are completely fine. But if you fiercely execute this exact meticulous protocol starting tomorrow morning, you will rapidly wake up feeling completely lighter, your dull skin will forcefully clear up and glow, your heavy brain fog will violently evaporate, and your tired body will rapidly become a completely self-cleaning, highly aggressive, self-repairing biological machine that nothing can stop. Now, the absolute final choice is entirely yours. You can keep blindly drinking the exact same commercial, acidic poison every single morning while your organs slowly suffocate. Or you can actually take massive, aggressive control of your own biology right today. Do not wait for the ultimate pain. Take action right now